You're joining us. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Money series. I mean, today promises to be very exciting and insightful as usual, as our speaker is already in the room. Thank you so much for joining us in good time, sir. We appreciate you. Okay, so let's quickly say hello to ourselves. Where are you joining us from? Please drop your names in the chat room and tell us where you're joining us from. My name is Vera James, and I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. So tell us something about where you're joining us from and your name so that we can say hello to you. And we have about 17 people online now. So please let's begin to enjoy the moments. I can see Sheyi Boluwati. Shey, you're welcome. Adekunle, you're welcome. Please, let's just begin to drop our names and where we are joining us from. Yes, Daniel Tonye from Abuja. Thank you for joining. You are welcome. I'm sure today we all want to learn about money, and I'm super sure that our guest for today will is ready to give us everything that we need to know as it relates to the subject. Yeah, within the hour. So Stephen, thank you for joining from Abuja. I'm sorry, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Oyinye, thank you for joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Isolo, to be precise. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's so good to have every one of us on this very, very, very insightful session. Hi. Oh, that's our speaker saying hello to us. Hello, good evening. Thank you so much, sir. Pascal Ikechukwu from Lagos. Yes, you're welcome. And I am certain that your objective will be met. Pascal says that he wants to draw wisdom and guidance to on financial matters. Yes, you are in the right place, and rest assured that you would draw enough wisdom from our speaker today. Good evening, Pastor Nee. Pastor Nee is in the house. Good evening. Let's say good evening to Pastor Nee, everyone. Thank you so much, Pastor Nee, for giving. Thank you. You've been working all day for the Game Changers Conference, and here you are again. Thank you so much for everything that you do to make us better and bigger. God bless you. God bless you, sir.
My man is on the call today, so I have to be here. I need to come and learn. I got my notes. I tell you, this is going to be a wonderful time. We just about finished 2 hours ago from the Game Changers Conference. We had an awesome time, a wild time. So everybody quickly rushed home, took your shower, came back to learn. Because you know what, we were tempted to move it, but I said no. Why should we move it? Probably we'll be attracting different kind of audiences. So let us just do it. And again, when Chooks gives you a date, you had better utilize it because it's not always available. So I just said no. I can't lose this opportunity. Let me just make sure we utilize it. So people, please bring out your pen, your paper. I tell you, I guarantee you, we're going to learn a lot. Money mastery techniques. Everybody needs it. We need to multiply. Good. Thank you, Vera. Thank you for holding fast. Vera, for the sake of people who don't know her, Vera is coordinating our community, professional business community. And then Vera is also a PhD holder. I mean, when you call her Dr. Vera, it wasn't it wasn't given to her. She earned it. So Vera is a PhD holder, and then I'm so glad to always see her and work with her. Thank you so much, Vera. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, so let me continue you could continue to drop your messages in the chat room. Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir. Okay, that's Pascal saying good evening to you, Pastor Nee. More messages in the chat room. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Onye, good evening, everyone. Thank you. So we have people from Abeokuta here already, Abuja, Lagos, Isolo, everywhere. And I'm certain that we would, Pastor Nee already told us, if you have this speaker, our speaker for today, will blow our minds, and I'm sure that we'll get value. Gloria, thank you for joining us from Benin. Thank you. That's my my state. Edo State is my state. So thank you so much, Gloria. Thank you, OJ, for joining us. Good evening. Good evening. You are welcome. Thanks. So we have lots of people joining in now. Okay, so we'll just spend another 2 minutes welcoming everyone. Felicia from Taraba. Wow, amazing. So good to have you, Felicia. Thank you for joining us. And when it comes to money matters, we are all ready. Pastor Neil just advised that we all have our pen, our books, so that we can take notes. Because one thing I know for a certain, everybody that Pastor Neil brings on his program would always give value. And this is not just someone just telling you what he has read. You know, they speak experientially what they have done and what works for them. And I'm super excited to every time I have to learn from these people, I come with all readiness. All right, thank you, Mr. OJ from Lagos. Thank you, Esther from Maryland. Is that Maryland, United States, or Maryland, Lagos? Thank you so much for joining us, Esther. Okay, so let me quickly introduce our speaker to us. Our speaker has a massive profile, but of course, because of time and everything, we had to just make it really, really small, rather really short. But you would see that it is huge. He's done so much. He's achieved so much on his roles, in his jobs, and so we are in for a good time. Okay, Chukwuma Nwanze. Chukwuma Nwanze is the Executive Director, Finance and Strategy at Credit Direct Limited. He holds an MBA from Warwick Business School, Coventry, and also a graduate of Business Administration from Cambridge International College, both in the United Kingdom. He is an alumnus of the prestigious Lagos Business School and a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, with over a decade of cognate experience in various sectors of the economy, including oil and gas, information and communication technology, as well as financial services. As part of his experiences, he has worked with notable organizations such as Nexton Business Services, formerly Heirs Alliance, and Wipro Systems Limited, amongst others. Prior to joining Credit Direct Limited, he was the Chief Finance Officer at UBA AfriPay Limited, where he was part of a team that birthed Nigeria's first mobile money product. As part of the CDL team, he has been instrumental to crafting the firm's strategy and implementing sound financial management to ensure they remain the market leader in sustainable growth and consistent financial performance. I mean, this is the best person for today's session. And I want us to, with a clapping ovation, use the comment box for those of us who join this program monthly. You know how we welcome our speakers. So use the comment section, use your icons, and just begin to respond, react, welcome him, tell him thank you for coming. Welcome him. Pascal is saying good evening, sir. Mr. Chukwuma Nwanze, we welcome you and we hand over the floor to you. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
All right, thanks everyone. Good evening, and let me say a special thank you to my, someone I respect a whole lot. Personally, truth is that if Neil calls me 50 times a day, I will make time for him. So if he moved this meeting out, I've still made it one way or the other. So thank you. It's such a honor and privilege to be here. Again, I'm hoping we can have a conversation of some sort today. You know, some of these, when all these things are ready, they then either make you panic or flatter you a bit. So let's just go into the conversation. I'd like to start today's conversation with a Bible verse. Yeah? It's in Proverbs 13:11. What it suggests is that dishonest money, you know, dwindles away. But money that you gather little by little grows. So scriptures even suggest that there is benefit in money mastery, and there's benefit in making it grow organically. One of the things I believe so much is that there are, just for the sake of this conversation, there are two types of people: the thrifty person, or this wise person, and then there's the lavish person, the lao. So the people who like to chill with the big boys and then live somewhat false lives. A thrifty person is a smart guy, in my opinion, because he never spends all he earns, right? He doesn't spend all he earns. But the lavish person spends more than he earns. So if you guys want to, I want a very participatory audience. So I just created two types of individuals: the person who spends less than he earns, and the person who spends more than he earns. So on the chat box, I'd like you to give me what the possible outcomes, what possible outcomes can happen to those two people: the individual that spends less than he earns and the individual that spends more than he earns, right? So I'll be looking out for your messages. I believe Vera will just help, coordinate it at some point. Now, whilst you're thinking about that, I'd like to share some sort of a financial philosophy or elements that we all should have at the back of our minds when we think of our finances. And I like to think of them as 5 possibilities, right? Rule number 1, let's even agree that cash is a scarce resource. There's the song that says even Dangote is still looking for money, yeah? So cash is a scarce resource. No one has it all. And last I checked, no one can earn his desire for what. I remember about this time, 15 years ago, I said to one of my friends, that's the guy, once I earn 750,000 naira a month, it's over. What do I want to even do with money in this life that's more than 750,000 naira a month? I reckon that less than a week, after making that statement, I had, raised the bar. So yeah, maybe 1.5 million a month. And today I'm too ashamed to tell you how inconsistent I have been, because I have raised the bar in a way that is almost tending towards insanity. Now, the truth is that you will never have more than, no one can have sufficient of it, right? So money is a scarce resource. Now, I want you to think about the following: assets, liabilities, income, expenditure, right? Assets, liabilities, income, expenditure, and profits, yeah? Or let's think of, in the context of this convention, let's think of it as an investment. So first and foremost, let me tell you what an asset is. An asset is, yes, is that thing that you own, but in the real sense of it, an asset is a resource that you control that can be used in generating income. So a resource that you own in some cases, or mostly control, that is used in generating income can be defined as an asset. A liability, on the other hand, is, let me put it this way. First, we all know it's a debt, is busy, for lack of a better way of putting it. But it is an outflow that does not lead to the generation of wealth. Is an outflow of cash based on something you have done in the past that depletes your wealth, right? And I'll tell you the fine balance shortly. Of course, like I said earlier on, income is the end product of sweating your assets, right? So an asset is scarce, asset is a resource that you own or control based on past events from which you can derive future economic benefits. That's how accountants will define an asset. But you see, the end result is that you generate income from it. So somebody's thinking, so is my car an asset? Technically, yes. When you put it for use for Uber, for example, it's really and truly drives home the point. If you think about it as the opportunity cost of paying for a taxi, then you can see some wisdom in it. But if you think of it as, I want to have 7 Maseratis and chill with the big boys, then there's some level of unintelligence that is coming to play, because first and foremost, you're not going to be able to drive 7 cars at a time. When you drive a car out of the car shop, it loses almost 30% of its value immediately. You know, it's just not really smart. And so when I hear a lot of people say, what are your assets? It's my car, you know, that car that spends most of the time in the mechanic. So cost of maintenance and things like that even makes it impossible for you to sweat it, but that's a different conversation. Let's start thinking first and foremost that what kind of assets do I have and how are those assets betting wealth for me? How are those things, when I sweat it, generating income for me, right? So every time you think about money, you have to think, how do I get this money to grow? The worst thing that can happen to you is your money not growing, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you a perfect example of our Nigerian situation, right? So there's a guy called Chuks. He has 1 million naira today. He's done absolutely, no, he had 1 million naira last year. He did absolutely nothing with it. 12 months later, his 1 million naira can buy less than he could buy the year before. He didn't do anything. He didn't take an investment decision. In the context of Nigeria, with inflation averaging in 2021 at 15.63%, your 1 million naira is technically 845,000 naira-ish. No offense, no, you didn't commit any crime. If that happens again and again and again, you wake up one morning and your 1 million naira is now what, in terms of what it can purchase, 100,000 naira. So if you've never thought of the reason why you must sweat your money or make your money work, Nigeria is a perfect situation. If you leave that 1 million naira in 6 to 7 years, it will buy almost nothing. You know, I recall this time last year, I was trying to do a transaction that was in pounds, and I was weeping that I was doing transaction. I remember very well because it was February. I was doing a transaction at 705 naira to a pound. That's, of course, you can't get it officially for certain kinds of transactions. Today, that same purchase you have to spend 785 naira. So let's even think of a guy named Chuks who had 1 million naira. In terms of his global wealth index, for lack of a better word, for no offense of his, he has become poorer to the extent of devaluation. And again, let's think of the impact of inflation, right? So for those of us who sit, and I try very hard, and I think we all should at some point, no matter how little it is, think of our wealth, try and dollarize your savings, right? So if you have, let's say the dollar is, for sake of simple maths today, is 500 naira, right, today. This time about 5 years ago, it was 250 naira. So if you had 1 million naira, right, you know what is already saying, no offense of yours. So if you sit down pretty in an environment that is under inflationary pressure like we are, or where the currency is weakening by the day, in the context of the global environment, you then become poorer. So what do I have to do? I first have to start thinking smart. I have to start doing smart things. One thing is I have to spend less than I earn, right? I have to spend less than I earn. People must understand that it is savings that creates wealth and not higher earnings. A savings, or see, wealth creation is not by, I was earning 1 million last year. Now I'm earning 3 million a month. No, right? In fact, I'll give you a hack. If you earn 1 million a month now, and you get a promotion or something great, you get a new job or something, and you start earning 2.5 million a month, you don't start getting the benefit of that promotion until you can contain or maintain your lifestyle at the 1 million naira level. If you think that, oh, I mean, I was earning 1 million naira last year, now I was living in Aja, now that I'm earning 2.5 million, I think I can afford rent in Victoria Island. If you move to Victoria Island, the in-quote benefits that you have gotten by from earning higher, it dissipates. If you think, oh, I was driving a 2014 Corolla when I was earning 1 million, but because I'm now chilling with the big boys, I need to drive myself a Lexus 570 2021 model. It loses that value. Of course, your boys will say, man, Chuki, you don't blow, you don't make them finally, you know, and all your boys will be hailing you. But in the real context of it, you're just making nothing. So let me say that again. People must understand that it is savings that creates wealth and not necessarily higher earnings. Now, for the guy who is an entrepreneur, right, it is sweating your returns or sweating your gains over and over again that helps in the creation of wealth, and not the turnover that you see on a monthly basis. You know, for very many entrepreneurs, turnover is like an exciting thing for them. In fact, Pastor is here, but I will still say it. In fact, sometimes we've even given testimony on the turnover without even counting the cost of the turnover. You know, not very many people are financially literate. So you say, oh, God has done it for me. I made 60 million turnover this year, but your cost is 62 million. But because you never thought you'd be able to generate 60 million, you're not excited about it. It's a positive in itself, but you know, we have to look at the totality of the picture before we start making certain conclusions. Spending more, and this is a problem, especially a Nigerian problem, spending more to look wealthy only leads to over-indebtedness and bankruptcy. I'll tell you one of the reasons why I don't look, I mean, I live a somewhat content life here. I'm not easily moved by what is happening around me. Note, I live my life properly. I enjoy my life. There's also no benefit in just working, and not enjoying it. When rapture happens, or if anything happens to you, the money stays here. So I'm an advocate of balance. Yeah, you must find that balance between living well, and I live well, and I just say, you can see it from my cheeks that I live well, yeah? I live well, and but there's some sort of balance that you must put to it. One of the things you must learn is not to look at the other person. You know, if people mind their business, you know, when we're looking at financial hacks, is the most basic things in life that the hack will. Just mind your business. What is it that Nee is now driving a 570 with red wheels? We're happy for Nee, because you don't know if Nee's dad just won a contract to power the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, right? And the margin he has made is 50 million pounds. And as a good son, he just says, oh, more, take this car. You will worry yourself over things you don't have all the facts about. The same thing applies to business. You are in a shop. Your neighbor who is selling the same thing with you suddenly now paints his shop, you know, does up his whatever, and you think, oh, the next thing I have to do is do exactly what he has done without having all the facts. Again, you don't know if the guy is just his father's insurance that they have been waiting for 40 years. They're just giving him, and he has collected 10 million naira more than he thought. If you don't know the facts, you know, I believe in the principle of running your own race. So guys, one hack is run your race. Spending to look wealthy, it will end up in a disaster. I can tell you that for free. And you know, we are in this light camera action generation, we're in social media generation. You know, I've heard stories of people going to stand in front of somebody's house and say, Baba, God has done it again for me. This, what I thought I could not do. It's not even your house. But, you know, and then somebody's going to have sleepless nights over it. Some people have been pushed to theft, to having suicidal thoughts, into debt on account of somebody else's falsehood. And you know what cost it? You did not just mind your business. I like what Benjamin Franklin says. He says your net worth to the world is usually determined by what remains after your bad habits are subtracted from the good ones. I'll take that again. So this is not me. I wish I was the one that said it. But Benjamin Franklin says that your net worth in this world, right, is usually determined by what remains after you subtract your bad habits from the good ones. If I say it right now, how many of you have bad habits? Even I who is speaking, there are still some things that I'm struggling with. There are some things that I'm still making. I'll quickly say this. When you have to justify to yourself why you have to spend something, then you don't need to spend on that thing. So sometimes I already have a blue watch, but then so the blue watch tells me time, right? But there's now a blue watch that has a red crown. That's the only difference. I say, because I have a red tie, this red crown is not correct. You know, that's what Benjamin Franklin was speaking about. At the end of the day, we find ourselves in very compromising positions because we also aren't disciplined enough to, you know, deal with bad habits or deal with you know, the challenges that come with making decisions around our finances. You see, one truth about personal finance or managing wealth is the discipline that comes with it. And one simple way, like I mentioned, don't spend more than you earn. Don't from your need. I know very many of us have an understanding. These things are principles that make sense, but very many times we find ourselves in situations where we are just forced to do it. Let me raise my hand. Sometimes, yeah, you know, because I don't like to pretend as if I am perfect at it. It's a journey for every one of us. Yeah. Sometimes when I'm not happy, right? And it happens to me a lot in the past. I think I'm getting better these days. When I'm not happy, I can just go into a store and spend my way out of the unhappiness. In that moment, I foolishly think I am dealing with my happiness. But I'm an accountant, and nothing hurts me more than when I realize I've been financially foolish. So by the time I get home and I count the costs of my stupidity, it actually gets me more upset. So these days, when I'm upset like that, I either go and look for water to drink or put my mind on something else. It has saved me a few hundreds of thousands. But you see, very many of us say, when I'm angry, I just eat myself away. When I'm angry, you're like tricks. You go and start shopping. When I'm angry, to deal with you see, guys, it's within our control, right? So you're not going to build wealth, or you're not going to have financial mastery if you also don't have discipline. Again, remember what Benjamin Franklin said. He said, our ability to create wealth, it is bad behavior subtracted from the good things that we do. Now, if you have so many bad behaviors, right? I mean, some of the things I see on social media, I think recently I saw a guy, he posted the receipt of a club he went to. He has spent 10.7 million naira, something ridiculous like that. Again, it's not my money, and I don't know, I can't spend, I guarantee you guys, the day you hear that Chuk spent 10.7 million naira buying drinks, it's not even if we are holding the Last Supper, I will have to explain to Jesus I can't contribute that much. Yeah. When people do certain things and they're posting it on the internet, you know that it's all falsehood. No logical guy who is earning serious, genuine money will do that. That's why I opened Proverbs 13:11 to start this conversation, right? That if you are stealing money, that money will dwindle away, it will vaporize. But the guy who is wise builds his money little by little, right? Let me just tell you a few more things. See, I was talking about assets, liabilities, and the rest, yeah? You see, you must grow your assets. So remember, by assets, we're talking about income-generating assets. Just before you make that spend. And there's a difference between expenditure and investment. You know, they are both debit on the debit side of what accountants would call financial statements, but they serve different purposes. Note, I emphasize, I'm not saying you will not spend money, but even when you spend money, there must be an outcome that is positive, at least most of the time. There must be an outcome that is positive, at least most of the time. So you must learn to grow your assets. You must learn to plan your spending. Don't be like me in the past who say, because I'm feeling bad, I'm just going into a shop and, voila, I'm just buying. So sometimes they call it impulse buying, right? Plan your spending, right? Reduce your liability. See, guys, especially guys who are in banking here, in banking, I hear a lot of funny things. Like people say that, loan is our birthright. Guys, loan is not your birthright. Loan is what it is. It is a loan. It is a liability, right? You are in the red for it. There is no such thing as loan is my birthright. I have a friend who just likes to guzzle up loans. Now, let me quickly say this point, that where you're taking a debt for the purpose of investing in assets that will generate cash flows that are more than enough to repay the debt, by all means do it. So that you don't get it wrong. Debt is in itself is not sin. Bible says, "Oh, no man, nothing but law." So my mom takes that scripture, and so my mom will never borrow. When we're much younger, when we are looking for money, I hope she's not watching. When we are looking for money, we just go and say to her, "Mom, borrowed money from, my mom will never give you her money, but when I say I borrowed money from someone, she can collapse on the floor. That money she said she didn't have 5 minutes ago, she will bring it out for it to go and repay your debt. I mean, but those were some of the tricks we did as younger boys. I hope that my children won't do the same to me. Now, so I'll take this thought on debt again. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with borrowing, but it is when that borrowing is to be used in generating an asset or in making an investment in an asset that will generate income that is sufficient for you to repay your loans. Someone is now saying that, now, so there's nothing wrong with debt. So rule number one, if you're just starting off a business, you cannot start with debt. You know why? Because you don't even know what the market is going to do. You see, the biggest teacher of life is the market. Oh. When you're doing your business plan, you say, oh, the addressable markets for this opportunity is, sorry, Vera, just let me know when I'm talking too much, yeah, because I talk a lot.
You're fine.
Okay. You say to yourself that the addressable market is 1 trillion naira. And you know, when we're doing business plan, just say that, and so if I get 1% of this market, then I will do this. See, the truth is that in real life, there's only a 5% chance that the excitement you use in doing the business plan will happen in real life. Now, so when you borrow money, it typically comes with an interest, an interest rate. It's not free money, right? So when you're borrowing money, somebody says, okay, I'm borrowing you 5 million naira, I'm borrowing you at 20% per annum. It means I'm paying you back 5 million plus 1 million naira interest. If you're not sure when the business will be enough, that's interest. We have to talk about principal. If you're not sure that the business will be enough, will generate returns or generate income that can pay back that debt, you're not yet mature as a business to borrow. It's not everybody that, so if you're a startup and you're here listening to me, right? Do not borrow until your business has started generating cash, and from the cash it is generating, you believe you can contribute towards the repayment of the interest and principal of the debt you take. Don't get it twisted. You know, sometimes I hear people who talk about their financial problems. You know, we are responsible for our financial situation, whether great or bad. One of the things you mustn't do is live in deceit or sell yourself an assumption that you have no strong basis to hold on to. One of those false assumptions is assuming the market will happen for you. First and foremost, I'll tell you this for free. God never gives ideas to one person. Any idea you think, right, I can guarantee you, if you check well, there are 500 people within the local government where you are that have thought about the same thing. What distinguishes one from another is the power of the excellence in execution, let me put it that way, is how quickly you take that idea and transform it into something that can be executed. And when you're executing, it must be done excellently. There is no fresh revelation. There's no unique. It's not. I can tell you, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nobody that, this revelation just came fresh to me. As the thing is popping in your mind, trust me, it's popping in a million other minds, right? So if you find yourself in the right environment, in the right market, in the right location, among the right people, and you execute brilliantly, package it nicely, and all the nice things you're being taught by Pasni, then you have a chance, you know? But if you just think, oh, because you had the idea, even when you were praying in tongues and you saw 2 angels flapping their wings, and the idea came to you with a bright light, it doesn't guarantee, right? If the execution is poor, it won't be good. Now, on the strength of that, you cannot go ahead and continue borrowing, right? So when your business has approached the point where cash flows are consistent, cash flows not only are they are also consistent. You can say that every month, this business will see a cash flow of, say, 10 million naira. If your repayment is now 2 million naira monthly, you know that bad as it bad, I'll be able to figure my way out of it. But your business is generating cash flows of 40,000 naira a month, and you have taken a loan that the interest payment is 2 million. There's no miracle that's going to help you. You'll be embarrassed, your confidence will be whittled out, and it's never going to be true. You know, I always say to people, there are some things that when you pray for, one of the things I'm hoping we can do when we eventually get to heaven is to say, God, how do you used to answer all these our prayers when we are not even using our sense that you gave us in the first place, you know? Because I just assume that sometimes it will be a case of, but guy, you're supposed to get sense now. You should have known that the business is not yet at the stage for this. And then, you know, but I'm hopeful. So I said, one, grow assets. 2, plan your spending. 3, reduce your liabilities. And when you find yourself in a position where you're in debt, try to have a plan, discipline yourself, have a plan, and start paying it off little by little. You see, today we have credit bureaus all across the country. Once you have a bad debt and it's posted to the credit bureau, you limit your chance of ever starting a business again or ever having access to credit. And trust me, credit is good when used in the right way. Simple rule, you don't even have to have PhD like Vera to know this. Let your assets be more than your liabilities. Right? Let your assets be more than your liabilities. Guys, I'm talking about assets that are, I'll give you an example. My mom, again, I hope she's not working. And again, I'm saying this in context. You know, when I was much younger, my mom, when I started having some sort of savings, my mom hurried me to go buy a property. Yeah, so I bought a house. I can't mention the name of the place in case someone is living here. And then they don't come for Pastor Lee's program again after. And they say, that speaker abused me where we are living. So she hassled me to go buy a house. This is, and I'm very honest with you, this is about 16 years ago. You know, and so I bought this really nice 3-bedroom house with all my life savings. And you know, my mom went to the house, she danced on the floor, rolled on the floor, prayed for me, told everybody that, see guys, it was one of those kind of properties that these real estate guys are selling, that we are in the bush. I was the fortunate one that they finished building my own, but I was the only one in that bush. Yeah, there's no electricity, no access to road. Beautiful house that they built, but dude, I can never live there. I literally had to be a local government and a republic to get there. So of course I moved on. My mom always wanted to say, send me a picture of the house. So I asked steady pictures of that house I sent to her. One day, after many years of frustration that I knew this thing was just money misroad, I said to my guys, let's go check how much we can rent this house out. And so feedback came to me, was beautiful house by all standards. That rent in that area is 150,000 a year. Now I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. This house is a 3-bedroom house. You know, it was 700 square meters, was kind of pretty. They said, yes, now, first and foremost, the house was surrounded by only houses that are not worth that value. So at the end of the day, the cost of fixing what the tenant will damage in the house was going to be more than the rent. Right? So I've gracefully given the keys to my mom. And between you and I don't know what she's done with it. But it was going to be an asset that is not generating anything. So when I'm saying, I'll have more assets than liabilities, that asset is not an asset. Secondly, if I try to sell that house, nobody's going to buy it. And if they'll buy it, they'll probably ask for 5 times the rental value, which will put me in a negative position. So I reckon my mom is using it for house fellowship or she's giving it to church or something. But it was one investment that doesn't make sense as an investment. So don't be carried away by, everybody should do real estate. In doing real estate, also use put on your financial intelligence hat when you're doing it. Yeah. So always ensure you have more assets than liabilities. Have things that's generating income for you. Don't use all your income to pay loans. If you can live a debt-free life, by all means, live a debt-free life. Don't take a loan for summer. It makes no sense. Don't take your family to Dubai and you took a loan. See, I sell loans for a living, so I hope my colleagues are also not on this platform. But it makes no, guys, let's even check how much sense it makes. You're going to Dubai for a vacation and you took a 5 million naira loan that you're painfully going to pay back just so that you can post pictures on Instagram. Remember Benjamin Franklin, bad behavior must stop for us to create wealth, right? People are in debt when they are going to, when they want to have weddings. People are in debt because they want to go on for summer. People are in debt to pay their children's school fees. Why don't you change your child's school to something that is within your... Unbelievably, people take loans to put their children in early schools. So their friends say, which school are you going to? Oh, it's that one in Ikoyi. I'm like, why? Right? I like to say this, especially to guys who are in regular employment, have more than one income source. Guys, I don't know about you. I'm an executive director in a financial institution. I hope nobody in my financial institution is also here. My salary can literally, it cannot fully pay my bills, right? And I work in a recognized financial institution. So sometimes I think about people who are not at my grade level or don't have what I earn. It probably can't take you home. So I always encourage people, and this is the trick. You see, everyone has been given a unique gifting by God. I guarantee you, everyone has been given a unique gifting by God. I have someone who's on this call. Every time I have a problem, she will solve it, especially because I'm poor at so many things. For example, if it's your birthday, I almost cannot guarantee that I'll know what to get you. But I have this friend who I'll call, I'll say, CEO, is this person's birthday? A natural ability to make it happen, even if I call at 9 p.m. and the birthday is tomorrow morning, it'll make it happen. If you leave that to me, it'll be a catastrophe. You will lose that friendship. If they married, your wife will be angry with you, or your, you know. Now, God has given each and every one of us a unique talent. And so what I said to my friend, you cannot continue for the life of you doing this thing and not making money out of it. You see, it's that ability that God has given you that expects you to create wealth from. Now, it means I can, some guy, you know, a lot of, for ladies, you don't be doing, my sister can do hair, my sister can do hair. The person who owns salon that is charging 15,000 naira and your sister who can do hair, the only difference is one has branded and called her own name. That's the same ability. You are just thinking that I have idle time. There's no such thing as idle time when you have capacity, right? So that thing that you can do effortlessly and you enjoy doing it and it costs you nothing to do. Pointer number one, that is one of the things God has given you to make money in this life. So keep on doing it free of charge and keep on praying to God for a miracle. He will see, you know, it's not that God, you know, I tell you that God answers every prayer. In his mind, he's saying, do that, I've answered this prayer. I've given you hand and ability. Put it to use. Whether it is hair, you know how to make jollof rice, you know how to bake bread, you know how to boil water, charge for it. Because what we are earning 9 to 5 will not take us home. I believe in being diligent in the workplace, being exceptional in the workplace. But work ends at 6 o'clock now. You have Saturday and Sunday now. Put it to productive use. Instead of going into the habit of borrowing, turn your ability during the weekends into something that is productive. You are seeing all these fintechs. One just collected $250 million. I was watching a video of him today. And as I was watching a video of him, I was checking myself in the mirror. He has hair. My own hair is even more than his own. He is dark. I'm dark. He's from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. He has sense. I have sense. He has companies that is now valued at $3 billion. What do I have? What he has done, he has taken the ability God has given him. He has used his sense. And just like the parable of talents, he has created a multiplier effect on it. But very many of us are like that initial bad guy who took his talent and did it and was waiting for the master to say, guy, you didn't make a loss on it. So if you're looking for money mastery, in fact, if you want to bombard, chill with the big boys, if you want to live low and spend anyhow, we are earning anyhow now. Let your earnings be more than your spending. So that when Chuk says to you that, what have you done with your life? You say, my earnings more than my spending. By all means, I will be quiet. The argument would only be that your wealth would have been more than it is today. Not that you don't have wealth or you're in debt. So let's take note of that. Let's also spend wisely. Right? Let us spend wisely. I like the finest things of life. Guys, I'm being honest with you. I really do like the fine things of life. Right? But sometimes those fine things of life can put you in trouble. So the kind of wristwatches I like, that I really like, there's this kind of watch I like. Starting price is $50,000. In my mind, this is my desire to have that watch. But the accountant in me, or the me in me, because I don't have that kind of way to buy an only watch, will not let me so many times. So every time I see the watch, I will put my hand beside it. It looks as if it was because of me they created that watch. But the starting price is $50,000. I'll now remind myself that Ojukokoro is setting in. I will say, lay hands on the watch and walk past. The day you guys see me wearing the watch, I'm looking to find no bad behavior are setting, but check whether my watch is now $5 billion. Because if I'm worth $5 billion, it's okay to spend $50,000. But I cannot be worth $55,000 and go and buy $50,000 house and watch, right? So spend wisely. Another point I want you to take, especially those things that we are very emotional about, and I know Nigerians, especially this generation of people of the same age, believe that everybody should have a house. Everybody must have their own house. And in very many instances, we even go and borrow to build this house of our dreams. Sometimes, there are some people on Nigerian mortgage. Like, you guys know that. People take mortgage in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, on the average, a mortgage will be going for 18%. So let me just show you guys this simple math to emphasize the point of spending wisely. So you want to buy a house that is 50 million naira in Chevy View Estate, right? In Chevron area. You go, you get, they say pay 20% equity. So you have the 10 million naira you pay, right? You then take out a mortgage for 30 million at 18%. Guys, this is where there's a problem. That house, if you chose to live in that house, it is 3 million a year. That if you went to rent that house and kept your 10 million naira, it is 3 million naira a year you will live in that house. If you put your 10 million naira in something that gives you 15% per annum, and there are a lot like that, your 10 million naira will become 11.5 million naira at the end of 1 year. So let's park that thought somewhere, yeah? But no, you're like chooks now. I want to say I'm living in my own house, or my mother has pressured me again. So I go and take that 18% loan, right? And every year, the interest, guys, 18% times 30 million is 5.4 million, plus the opportunity cost of the 1.5 million that I have lost. So it means technically, I'm now spending 6.9 million naira for a 3 million naira property. Are you following my math? So what would have been 3 million naira cash outflow for me is now 6.9 million naira because I want to say to people I live in my house. Now, we haven't talked about cost of maintenance. We haven't talked about an unstable macroeconomic environment that suggests that interest rates can still go up. We haven't talked about the reality that you almost can't predict that you'll be able to repay that loan in 20 years because you almost can't predict your financial circumstance for 20 years. And the way mortgage works is that if you've paid up to year 7 and you can't pay again, they will come and take the house from you. And everything you've paid from year 0 to year 7, you lose it. So every time you spend, you must ask yourself the question, why am I actually doing this? Let me tell you one lie we tell, especially when we want to do mortgage, that I'm going to get one bulk money. And when that bulk money comes, I will use in paying out the, see guys, 1 in 100 get that bulk money. Very many people will lose their homes before retirement. And let me even shock you. You know the bad thing about assets like houses sometimes is, except in certain areas, the real value of a house is not what Jile Taiwan Co tells you is the value of the house. The real value is the for sale value. That is, if Kasala boss, how much can I sell this house to get cash for? Guys, between you and I, most often than not, you sell it at the 40% discount to get that cash out. So am I saying, no, nobody should invest in real estate? No. I'm saying make the investment in real estate, but do your maths well. Financial literacy or money mastery requires diligence and please calculations. It does not involve emotions. So spend wisely. The last point is delayed gratification. Delayed gratification, right? I know when Pasni turned 50, I know the big car that he got. I can tell that Pasni had wanted that car long before then. And in fact, it is his children that bought him that car. In case people don't know, in case you think he took his money, he has always liked that car and he could buy it. He could figure out a way of buying it. Again, I'll say everyone likes the fine things of life. You know, everyone likes the fine things of life. You see, when I don't even know if I can say, give you all these biblical examples, but let me just say this last one. When Jesus went to the wedding at Cana, he had the option of giving that thing as pure water, right? But he made it wine. So he's not anti the fine things of life, right? And I need us to do that. So don't say, oh, I'm preaching thriftiness. No, I'm not teaching. Nobody came to this world to suffer. I like the fine things of life, but I will not go out of my way to get those things. I will not use it alone to do it. And I will not do it to satisfy somebody else, not for Instagram. That's even one of the most silly things that's happening in this generation. In fact, you know, you can actually Photoshop a car. Well, they may catch you that is Photoshop. But okay, if you have inferiority complex, Photoshop a car or something. Don't go and take a loan to do it. Oh, all right, let me move on quickly. There are 4 areas of personal finance I want you to always bear in mind. Always think of savings. Savings is not what you keep away after earning an income, right? Savings is what you take away first. So it's if you tithe, you take away your tithe, and then you take away your savings. You spend everything that is left. And I have some sort of a hack that I think can serve as a guide, not perfect, but it can serve as a guide. And I don't know, Vera, you have to help me with time. I don't know, but you need to tell me how much time I have. I should continue. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you still have 10 minutes.
10 minutes, thank you. So keep away the savings first, then spend the rest. If not, you never save. This life is not easy. This economy is hard. Indomie is even expensive now, right? So if you say, oh, let me finish spending, I guarantee you there will be nothing left, right? As old as I am, I have it because I can like the fine things of life. I do what, so you don't even have the best financial sense, but because I can be indisciplined sometimes, I found it as a simple way to be disciplined. Have you guys heard of this thing called Ajo? Even in my old age, I'm still doing Ajo. I'm doing that Ajo with people that earn less than me, some who earn more than me, but I'm doing it in such a way that at least, so if I keep out X amount every month, and I always like to take that money last, at the end of the year, I would say, in your foolishness, you were able to save this one. It may not yield interest, because sometimes when you say you put it in an interest yielding account, trust me, life will always tell you why you must spend that money. In fact, our village people have electromagnetic something that lets them know when you have money. So in case you don't know, that's when somebody in your village nail will just hit him, and you're the only person they can call, and your conscience will be pricking you all night. If the money is not there, there's no angel. Even if the angel comes and says, hey, Chooks, give me this money. I'll say, hey, angel, it's my desire to give you this money, but from where now? Right? So you must take away that savings, and don't commonize don't put in a place that you can easily break it from. If not, everything in life becomes an emergency for you. That's one. 2, look for an investment. And let me tell you a trick on investments. Remember, I started this conversation talking about inflation. Look for investments that can give you a return at least higher than or equals to the inflationary value. If not, your wealth has not grown. At a minimum, please, I beg you, don't give your money to people that say they can give you 20% returns a month. It's not possible. We're in an economy that grows at 3.2% or 3.8%, I don't know what the number is. How can you think? You think so? As sharp as Pastor Nee is, you think there's an opportunity in this life that gives 20% returns a month, and he and this you think he'll be doing this work? He'll not be quiet. Your head Vera thanking him for all the nice things he has done for us. I can tell you for free, if Ni Aisha knew what was giving 20% returns every month, he will not be doing this work that he's doing for us. We will not be here to thank him. So don't get carried away. Well, I don't know, you may, let me speak for myself. Me, I will not, I guarantee you. I will be doing only that thing that gives that 20% a month. So when someone comes to you and says, if you give me this one, when we plant rice and cassava, it gives 20%, how now? Don't let greed block your ability to reason. You can, there are potentials to see. Dangote will not be doing fertilizer if he was doing 20%. Even Dangote is not doing that kind of returns a month, right? You think and let me tell you, there's no such thing as work is work, right? For those of us who read the Bible, you know, I say to people that God blesses the works of our hands. So sometimes when we are looking for blessing, I normally say to them, show me the works of your hand. Because even God is looking at, okay, what is it that you want me to bless? I've given you unique abilities. I've given you talent. I've given you insights to certain things. You're doing nothing. You're expecting a miracle. Any prayer that is prayed for you when you're not following certain principles is a waste of words, right? So, I mean, let me just say that. So savings is an important thing. Investments, I've said, look for something that gives a return that is, I mean, at least to the extent you can, higher than the inflationary realities in the country where you are. Look for things that generate income, right? Look for things that generate income, and then find means of protecting your wealth. Don't build a factory without putting insurance there. At least, God forbid, if fire should burn the place, you can go and hold insurance by the neck. Don't have vehicles you're using for transportation and fail to put an insurance policy on it. Don't fail to keep away unique funds for the rainy day. Find a way of protecting your wealth, right? Let me quickly start wrapping up because I have a lot to say, but time won't allow me. Let's quickly talk about how you can manage your finances, right? One is make savings a sacred habit. Make it a habit. If you're looking for, someone says, I wish I had this, don't worry, never too late to start. Make savings a sacred habit, right? Make and stick to a budget. Say this month for enjoyment, I'm going to spend 50K. Don't spend 51K. Look for thrifty ways to enjoy. It's not every time rosé, it's not every time spraying money that you don't have, right? It's not every wedding you must attend. It's not every ashwabi you must buy, right? I mean, let me not say everything. Save first and spend what is left. Invest your savings to create wealth. Those are points I've made. Now, what I normally would say is that because there is life to live. So as a benchmark, I typically would say, see, make sure your rent is not more than 20% of what you earn. This is a framework, is a guide. Means if you earn 10 million a year, your rent shouldn't be more than 2 million naira a year. If you earn 10 million naira a year and you're living in 4.5 million naira house, that's the beginning of Ashedro. You are now doing more than you should do, right? Because there are other things that you require money for. If you can cap your household expenses at 20% of your, I'm just giving a guide. I'm not saying it is a rule cast in stone, yeah? If you can have 20% of your money set aside for household expenses, another 20% for feeding, 10% for transportation, determine the kind of vehicle or whether you're going to use Uber all the days of your life or you're going to jump bus or jump bike, right? And then have 30% as savings. So if every year you're able to save from your 10 million naira, 3 million naira, you've done well. From your 1 million naira, 300,000 naira, you've done well. Someone says, truth, this thing you're saying is not practical. The truth is that it is extremely practical. It will just require you having a lot more discipline and not looking out at things that are beyond your reach at this point in time. So I'll take that again. The framework suggests 30% going into savings and investment. And if you've not been doing it, it's not too late. You can start it today. 30% for savings and investment, 20% towards your rent, 20% towards household expenses, feeding, if you're watching DSTV, whatever it is, 20% towards feeding because these are the essentials of life, and 10% towards transport. If there's anything left, you can chill with the big boys, right? Let me say this here. Let me try and paint a picture. What's the average age we think, and I'm beginning to wrap up, Vera. What's the average age you think a person should live? Just someone should give me a 75, 80. I like people to say something on the chat box. What age do you think works? Someone should chat now. Perhaps I've been talking to myself. It'll also be nice if you can just let me know that you're following 75, 85, 80. Great. 90. This is 120. You want to live forever. All right, let's work with an average age of 80, right? Thank you. 60, that in Lagos, the pressure is a lot. Esther says it's 60. The pressure in Lagos is a lot, and it really can be 60. Now, let's say the average age is 80. You're done with university and the like, I say 25, yeah? Service and everything, let's just averagely, you're done 25. The point I'm trying to raise is that the time you have to work and earn money and the time you have to leave after you earn money is almost 50-50. By the time you're 55 in the workplace, they start giving you the vibes that you have to go. In many organizations, by the time you're 50. In fact, the truth is that by the time you're turning 50, there are younger, sharper people in the organization who are already making you feel like you don't know what you're doing. Your power would have finished by that time. So younger, agile people will be making it look like you're not competent anymore. So let's even say the benchmark is 55. From you have 25 to 55 to gather wealth. Because from 55 to 85, you do not have the same energy or ability to chase wealth creating activities as you did when you were younger. Smart people would have made the investments that will serve them for a lifetime, but very many people will not. That's why when you approach your retirement, a lot of people are concerned, a lot of people are worried. Very many times, our parents, when they are approaching their retirement, that's when they take all the cash they have, then they build the house. And all they have avoided is rent. And no capital to start anything else. Right? So let me tell you 10 things you must do. And I'll speak to entrepreneurs and money managers, and I'm wrapping up now. I promise I'm wrapping up this time. As an entrepreneur, and this is just free of charge, especially those who are not sure whether God has called them to be entrepreneurs or not. Being an entrepreneur is hard work. Take it from me. I can write a book, chapter 1 to 500 on being an entrepreneur. It is hard work. Yes, if you're looking for vibes on vibes, yeah, you will say, oh, I own my own thing. But in the real world, man, it's a lot of hard stuff. So keep a job as long as you can. Build funds that you would use in launching, that gives you the cash flows that you use in doing well as an entrepreneur. Take that from me, it works, yeah? Number 2, keep your operations lean and efficient. It's not a testimony that we are hiring 900 people, especially when what you really need is 150 people. You know, Nigerians give testimonies for the wrongest things, right? Oh, wow, I couldn't believe it. If God told me I would be able to hire 500 people, I would say it's not possible. Sister, you are meant to hire only 50 people. Because 2 years down the line, you start having cash flow issues. You say the devourer came for you. So we must learn to have lean, efficient operations and something that can scale really quickly. Leverage business relationships. Leverage business relationships. Right? I mean, Pasni is an expert at leveraging relationships. Like I said, if he calls me again to do this tomorrow morning, I will do it. When you leverage relationships, it saves you a whole lot. You want to start out a consulting practice. Beg your friend who is your really good friend, who is a good accountant. Let him help you do some things. You can promise him something later on in life. Leverage relationship. Number 4 is raise capital in stages to reserve equity and get the best valuation for your company. It's not when you want to start a business, you say, we want to be Pasni, we want to start a business, we need 10 million naira. Someone now says, okay, I'll give you 10 million naira for 75% of your company. You are excited. God has done it again. No, you have jumped the gun. Because money is not the solution to building an organization. You need a lot more than that. And you need time, and you need a lot of input from skilled and wise people, right? Number 5, don't hire based on sentiment. If somebody is messing up, fire. See, I'm guilty of that. It always ends up in the same results. When you allow sentiments determine who stays or who remains on a job or not, the outcome is always the same. The person will mess you up. So cut your losses. Business is not emotional. It's either a business or you're doing a charity. They're not the same thing. Disengage health. If you're pricing poorly, stop that bad behavior immediately. A lot of people say, because we are taking it to church, we will sell it at a discount. We sell it lower than cost price. Again, I'll say business is not a charity. If we are doing business, let's do business. If we are running a charity, let's run a charity. Monetize your waste, right? So if you're in manufacturing, for example, try and make sure you can convert your waste into something useful, right? Find the cheapest and effective way to do marketing. Don't think you have to hire an influencer every time. I don't know how much, personally, I am an influencer. I don't know, because I need you to help me do some marketing. So I'll leverage relationships in this case. If personally just puts it out there, say, help Chooks, then I have like 5 million people helping me. Right? I rather leverage relationships than spend on marketing costs that may not, give the that result. Business owners must think.
Chooks, you said we should make money from everything. That
no,
means
now. Wait, Pastor, I'm not
talking to charge you.
This session is not for you, Pastor. This session is not for you, right? So business owners must think strategically always. You see, strategic thinking has a longer term approach. It sees beyond the moment, right? So business owners must think strategically. I'm talking to entrepreneurs now. And number 10, the final point is treat your employees with love, care, and respect. When you do that, you now leave them in God's hand to see if they will reciprocate it. Bible says, oh, no man, nothing but love. So treat your employees with love, care, and respect. Truth is so, in Nigeria can defy a lot of principles. You will finish doing that, you may not get your reward may be in heaven. But you see, those principles stand in the long run. You will get someone who will treat it like his own and will help in creating wealth for you. Now, let me talk to 10 tips I think can make you a better money manager. And I don't want to summarize with this and I'll end for questions. Number 1, we've said it like a billion times. Spend less than you earn. Number 2, let your money work for you. Don't have money sitting down idle in an account every Sunday. Don't be like Chooks of before. I always like seeing my balance. So I'll go to my account, say FCMB, account balance, formula, and I'll roll on my bed and say, but to make it, and the money I stayed there weekend. Wise Chooks these days will have 200,000 naira in his account if he has 4 million, just in case of contingency. 3.8 million, he has farmed it out somewhere where they are giving him 10, 12, 15, 20% returns per annum, not per month, right? So don't let your money work for you. Protect your money. We've talked about that. You can use insurance. Save more even when you don't earn more. Save more even though you don't earn more. See, guys, cook your food. Not every time eating out. Cook your food. It's cheaper to cook food than eat outside. I cook my food. My EA asked me recently, said, why do you always cook? I say it's cheaper to cook than eat outside. You're going to eat lamb and mashed potatoes. The bill they will give you is 18,500. If you would make your lamb and mashed potatoes, believe me, you will not spend 6,500. 12K saved. So very many times say, oh, there's no way, there's no way. Buy bread and boil egg, make egg sandwich and sprinkle ketchup on it if you must. Instead of going to the office every time to spend 700 naira on a meal. We must learn to be thrifty. Again, though, and don't want to say, Chooks or not eat outside. You will see me in all the restaurants in Lagos. But you have to, it depends on what you can afford. But majority of times I'll cook, yeah. Impulsive spending is an enemy. You must desist from it, right? Impulsive spending is an enemy. You must desist from it. Guys, jobs don't last forever. I can see there's one certainty I know about career professionals, right? It's either they fire you or you leave. Those two are, there's no, one day they'll tell you to go or you go yourself. There's no one that has been on the job since the days of Jesus. One day they'll say, oh yeah, Chooks, come I'm going to your house. Or Chooks will say, I am going. So jobs don't last forever. So don't live your life like you think income is guaranteed every day. Don't live your life that you think your income is guaranteed. Again, remember the point on putting your ability to work. One of the things I'm so sure of, and I say this with all sense of humility, right? Don't worry, guys. I will send the slides to to the team, and I believe they can share it with members here. So, because I see you asking for the point, so the sites I'm happy to make it available to everyone. So jobs don't last forever. Start putting your hand to work now. It's not when they tell you to go, you now starting what you do. Note, I'm not saying use your company time to do your personal hustle. No. I'm saying for a man who plans, there's enough time to do everything. See, guys, there are sometimes you'll be awake from 2 a.m. because you are doing something. You are not always going to be awake from 2 a.m. except you have sleep problems like me, yeah? But there are times you are going to walk around the clock, packaging gifts, putting rice into bags. There will be a time where you would break the norm to create wealth. So let's bear that in mind. Set a reasonable savings target. Don't say you're earning 100,000 and you want to be 100,000 more. You have to save 95,000 there. You are as unserious as the person who is not saving at all because you don't save anything. Why are you not deceiving yourself? You say, today I heard this Chooks guy. Chooks said we should save. In fact, from tomorrow now, I'll be saving everything. I'll just give my tithe or I'll give money for church and the rest is saved. It's not possible. Your landlord will chase you out of the house. Hunger will make you lose your ability to reason. And by the time you enter bus twice and you tell conductor you are paying by faith, you understand what a solo nine means. So just give proper account of what is decent for you to live, but save something, yeah? Start an investment or a savings habit today. I'm repeating what we said before. Start it today. Say to yourself, okay, 100,000 a month. And there's no amount that you have to say 5,000 there. Start with what you're comfortable with. But don't have a new returns every month. Don't be a charity case. You know, God loves a cheerful giver. That's why they don't like a cheerful asker of every time. It's only you that asks. You know what? It's more fun to give than to receive. Let's even say, forget that it's in the Bible. If you've tried it, the person who gives, I've had that feeling that you have a happier life. Your confidence is more impact when you give than receiving, because you say, I don't like asking. It's affecting your confidence. But when you're the one who is always giving, you're just feeling cool that man, when they probably are calling to me. So boost your confidence today. Don't be chasing debts. Don't be the one that was always asking to, I beg, borrow me 50K till month end. I beg, help me sign my loan form till month. Again, how my colleagues are not on this call. Is loan that I sell for a living, but I mean, we'll deal with that on the later case. And the last point, if you save cash where it can be easily accessed, your mind will make almost everything look like an emergency. So when you keep this money away, keep it far from you. I have a friend, his own is extreme, I hope he's not on this call too. Every time he has an account, he has no checkbook for it, no ATM card for it. Every month, he has a direct debit instruction to that account. The covenant he has made with himself is that he will never ask for an ATM card or a checkbook or internet banking on that account. One time, he needed to start a project. When he told me what was there, my mind was blown. So it was the extreme discipline version of the adjure that me that are not disciplined can do. Right? So I don't know if I've made a lot of sense, but those are the points I just came to share with you today. And once again, I thank Pasni for this opportunity. I hope I haven't scared away your attendees, and I have an opportunity to be called again in the future. So thanks. I'll send this slide to Pasni, and I'm sure it'll get to you. Thanks.
Vera, before you come in, actually, choose you have scared some of my participants. I don't know whether you can hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Good. Okay, good. Please buy houses, buy real estate, because most of my clients are in the real estate business.
You should have told me before I tried.
It's okay. Buy real estate. Real estate is very, very, very profitable, viable. Make sure you buy real estate. That's what I just wanted to say. Vera,
okay, thank you so much.
We can, before we take the questions, let me just say this. What happened today if you don't mind, before you start taking questions, people can start writing their questions.
Yes, I was going to say, please write your questions in the chat room while Pastor Nick.
Now, something happened today that I just want to make available here. I will never share this on social media and everything. And we're having this Game Changers conference in Lagos, and then all my immediate guys that I wanted to do one thing or the other, do this for me, do that for me, and everything. I just realized that they were not available. I was given an award yesterday. Who's going to pick up the award for me? All my immediate big boys were not available. I just realized that they have become so big. They are now so big that they don't have my time again. Even today, anchor this program, last minute, sir, I have to be in Abuja. Oh, sorry, I have to be in Port Harcourt and everything. I understand. That just means that they have grown to the point of independence. So it dawned on me when I was going to the meeting that, look, I need to start thinking about raising another level of people who would be able to do whatever they are doing. I've trained so well. We have trained some Credit Direct. We realized that I'm not the one who did the training. These are the boys that did the training. But now, even if I call them now, they can't even have my time to come and do training in Credit Direct. So they are big. So what we now did at the program today was to call for 50 people who will be ready to go on a journey with me. And we got some numbers today. So I'm just going to make it available here. Now, are we going to spend 3 months? Are you going to say 6 months? I don't know. It will be more than that, but there will be a constant, at least a minimum of 10 times of contact with me, whether one-on-one or as a group. So you have that, and then the purpose is to be able to develop you so that I can feed my pipeline. My pipeline is really dry right now because it just dawned on me that, wow, what have I been doing all this time? Focusing on this set of people. Don't get me wrong, those guys are still very much around me. I'm not going to throw them away because you don't throw big boys away. But there's a set of people who want to be, let me say, mentored by me. Now, this I'm doing is a bit of what I would normally do. Most of you know that I have a set of people that we're going to Dubai together next month, that are doing thousands of dollars to be able to get there. But this set of people are the people who cannot afford the thousands of dollars, but they want to say, okay, you know what? I think I have so much to get from you. So for you to qualify for that, you need to start sending your number on the platform. Once you send your number on the platform, then you'll be able to get that attention. But this is it. You must be willing to let go of 250,000 naira, willing to sacrifice and to give that 250,000. Immediately I clock 50 people, I may stop it. 250,000 naira, you will have the opportunity of contact with me for at least 10 times. Now it could be 50-50, 50 group, 50% group, 50% one-on-one. It could be 70% group and 30% one-on-one. But it will happen that we will have enough time together. And guess what? Your life will never remain the same again. I mean, one of the guys who was supposed to anchor the program today didn't anchor the program. And then when he was going, just for him to let me know that he's happy with me or I'm happy with him, he said, sir, I wanted to bring an envelope for you, but I forgot it at home. I said, what's in the envelope? He said, I packaged $1,000 for you. I said, don't worry. Even if you like, don't come for any program again. That is how big these boys have become. So we want to raise the second set of 50 while we're putting a price tag on it. It's necessary to put a price tag on it. 250,000 is not a price tag for any additional brand, if you know very well. It's not a price tag. It's just for me to see that level of seriousness. And it's not about, okay, I want to pay instrumentally. Well, the day we clock 50, and then you have not paid, we leave you. But we take up this set of people who are ready to go the extra mile, and then we go on a journey. Look, put your number there, or send your number, your DM, your direct message straight to Fit Gear Plus, and just make sure you plug into this. Make sure you plug into this. Chooks, it will surprise you that one of the guys who was around today said, I don't want to do 250. I want to do more than that. And they were telling me, you know how you hear that? I said, no, go and talk to that. The guy said, the guy dropped $1 million that I want to be there. I want to do more than that. That's to let you know people are hungry, people are ready. I want to take these people, 50 people on a journey, life-changing, life-transforming. This is the time to plug in if you really want to do that. Please, Vera, over to you. And for those of you who can go to Dubai, why not? Dubai is still very much open. And the business think tank in Dubai is $5,000 US to be part of it. And if you're a pastor, it's $2,000 US to be part of it. Pastors, 2,000, business 5,000, because pastors don't actually make money. Some are, but business people they make money. So over to you. And then for those of us who are available who want to do that, please just send a direct message, your number to Fit Gear Plus. Just DM. You see all the people except Chooks, that is a co-host. Any other person as a co-host on that on the participant stuff, send a DM to them right now, and then you can put your name down. We will only call you once. We will call you once, not twice, not 3 times, just once, and then that will be it. Thank you, Vera.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Pastor Neil. Thank you for bringing in good things for everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Chooks, I'm not sure if you saw some comments. I mean, quite a number of comments in the chat room saying thank you so much, sir. Insightful, beautiful presentation, awesome. It's been an exhilarating experience here. You did justice to the topic, a beautiful presentation, and quite a number of other thank yous. So everyone is excited and everyone says thank you. So on behalf of everyone on this call, we want to say thank you to you. And the floor is open for questions. I haven't seen any question in the chat room, but if you want to speak, ask your question, please feel free to raise your hand with the raise of hand icon, and I'll just ask you to unmute, and then you can ask your questions. Please, we have just about 10 minutes to the end of the program, so please bring in your questions so that Mr. Chooks is able to respond to you. All right, so please send in your questions, or can you hear
Vera,
me?
sorry, sir. Vera, sorry. We have a few minutes, but this is how we do it here so that we don't put Chooks under pressure or anybody under pressure. It is an open program, it's not a paid program. So we'll just go on. And when Chooks get tired, we'll be okay. But as long as Chooks is not tired, so if you feel that, okay, you have done enough, don't worry, you can just leave the platform, and then the people who want to gain more can gain more. And then we just run like that. So don't put anybody under pressure. Don't let us put Chooks under pressure that will now not elaborate on the question very well, the answers very well. And then you would, but anybody who wants to wait can wait. Anybody who wants to leave can leave. It's a voluntary meeting. Nobody got any money from anybody. So that's what I just want to say. So don't put ourselves under pressure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor Nee, for that clarification. So yes, if you have questions, drop your questions. If you want to excuse us now, it's fine. I'm sure you've got massive benefits from this session. If you want to ask a question, I'm trying to look through to be sure that I've not missed out on any. Yeah, I can't see any hand up, and I can't see any question in the chat room. So if you have a question, let's know. Okay. Mr. Chooks, you really shook some tables, though. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, you were talking about a job. Do you want to talk insight as relates to? Okay, Godwin, I can see you. But you know, someone was telling me about, and you said you always at this stage now, you are the last to get your own money. Someone was telling me recently, I mean, sometime last year, that when she does a job, she's always the first. She takes her money and then puts it in an investment, because the value of the money, like you also said when you started the presentation, that the value of the money drops. So do you want to help us put some perspective around that?
Yeah, so
And then Chuk, sorry.
Yeah.
I think does a job mean thrift or something? You know, for the sake of those who don't know what a job is.
I think it's just, I'll just explain it. I don't even know if it's thrift now, right? It's every month. So let's say I have a target saving of say ₦1 million. Then I get a group of 9 other people who are willing to save 100,000 every month. So you know it becomes 100. So every month, the 9 other people give what the person who is due to collect. It becomes ₦1 million. Just like Vera said, some people take that ₦1 million at the beginning of the year and an interest on it, and then they've done that. In fact, I typically advise it for people who haven't started creating wealth or having anything to invest. Is the cheapest way to gather bulk money. Now, for me, the objective is different because I'm an investor. I live my life as an investor. So I keep that one for a purpose of, okay, you have overinvested, but at the end of the year, just have bulk money to start the year, the next year with. So I like to collect that December money. It typically comes after Christmas. So when you have finished all the chilling with the big boys, you then have something to start the year with. So that for me is the philosophy. And I do countless, I also do it, right, as a means. So when I say this, I actually do this a lot of times to encourage people. So if you say, oh, we have a 50K ajo, I will do. You have a 100K ajo, I'll do. So at some point in time, I was doing ajo almost 30% of my total earnings. But I was encouraging a lot of people to save that way. So yeah, it's just what I like to do. It's not the way I invest, but it's just an additional level of discipline I bring upon myself to avoid wastage. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much.
And I think, sorry, Vera, I think the strategy of that lady seems to be more interesting than Chuk's own.
Yes.
Because if you collect first and then you invest it,
yeah.
I mean, that's magic.
Yeah, it is.
So always fight to collect first and take it to investments. Yeah. I think that's what we're getting here.
Try not to collect.
Try
not to collect in November. You spend it for Christmas.
Okay, over to you, Vera.
So we have Godwin, we have Steve. So Godwin, please, you want to unmute yourself, and then we would like you to turn on your camera if you don't mind, so that we can see your face and then hear you too.
Okay, good evening, and thank you so much for the opportunity to ask my question. I hope I can be heard.
Yes.
Okay, please, I'm so sorry. My environment is not bright enough, so I may not be able to turn on my video.
That's
so,
okay.
Yeah, my question is this, talking about savings and investment. So I want to find out how to be able to effectively move your savings into investment. Okay, now that I mean, for instance, you have an investment target. Maybe you want to invest, let's say, on a project of, let's say, 500K. And then you're earning 100K, for instance. So you're saving 20 or 30K. So over a period of time, like that savings is also used to service certain other projects or activity or major, stuff like that. But realize that you're not able to invest. So, I mean, judging from my experience some time ago, when I was a student, then, so I was, getting total scholarship and some other kind of savings. But I realized that doing my NYC, much of that bulk savings, I was looking forward to invest, but I couldn't really find a very good investment option. So eventually all of that still went down into expenses. So my question simply is this, what would be your advice when one is having an investment target, but do not really have that bulk sum to invest? And then how do you pull your savings into investment? So just some sort of clarity or, advice in that regard.
Yeah, thanks, Godwin, for that question. I think first and foremost, no pressures. Let's not put ourselves. The idea is not for anybody to be put under pressure. And I don't think anyone should pressure himself. If what you're able to save is 5,000 naira every month, right? See, one of the benefits of investing is, so in the event that there is a life event, right, you have something to take care of that life event. So note, I'm not saying invest for eternity, because you're investing, you cannot use it for anything in this life, right? Sometimes your savings is what will get you out of the real deep situations, but you will start again. The essence of my conversation is for you to build a culture that invests, saves, and invests first. You know, it's one thing for you to save. It's only when your savings has gotten to a level of, to a certain level that you can start investing. If not, it will not be of significant value. So save, but the point is, when you have that little money, put it in an account that is interest yielding. There are a number of central bank regulated entities that you can put your money in, even if it's 100K or 200K, right? That money may just be enough for you to pay GoTV subscription in a month, right? For example, but it's better than getting nothing at all. Now, once you build this attitude, and if you want to build this mindset and you couple it with a principle I talked about earlier on, which is monetizing the God-given abilities, you will find out that the amounts coming into that savings bucket will begin to grow. It may take you 5 years. It may take you a year, 3 months. Don't set a target that puts you under pressure. You know, my kids, for example, I ensure they have a piggy bank, right? I always like the expression on their faces. At the end of every year, we open the piggy bank for them. I've seen it transform the way my daughter, for example, thinks. She now believes, because of the excitement, that, oh my God, I had this much at the end of the year, she wants to beat that amount. So she's saving even more, right? Before we started that culture, she wanted to spend and just wanted to buy. But that subtle mentality is teaching her to save, right? Now, in my daughter's own case, that piggy bank amount can buy her change her Amazon Kindle or whatever she wants to buy in a year, right? In your own case, it may be to buy a property, it may be to buy a car, it may be to buy equities in the stock market. But the rule is, don't put yourself under pressure, because when that pressure comes, it's either you start looking for the wrong things or you start looking for money doubling efforts that ultimately lead to a loss of even the little one that you have. So be patient, but be wise about it. Check central bank regulated entities that have these required skills to manage people's investments. Don't give your money to people who aren't skilled. Don't give your monies to people who are as virgin as you, for example, in the investment space. There's a high chance that you lose it. At the beginning, whilst you're building your risk appetite, you put that money in something that is safe. The returns may not be phenomenal, but it's safe. You know, they say the higher the risk, the higher the return. But as you're building your investment capacity, I recommend you have a very moderate risk appetite, and you can build this over time as you grow your wealth. I don't know if that has helped.
Okay, I believe so. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me just take a question from the chat room. It says, please, what cooperative society in Lagos can you recommend, sir?
So sorry, I'm not allowed to recommend any. But do your research. Like I said, Ensure is a regulated entity, but I'm not at liberty to recommend any in this forum here. Okay,
all right. You also, okay, this is someone's suggestion. She's saying that you can also put your upfront in investment. So I think she's talking about the contribution we talked about. Yeah. Yes, and then with other Agile, all right. Kindly advise on some of the CBN. No. Okay, so sorry, those asking for recommendations, please do your research. Do your research. Okay, Steve Management. So you have the floor now. Please unmute. Steve Management, okay.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Right, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I'm also not in a very conducive environment, so I probably might not be able to turn on my camera. Okay, so I've done some bad investments in the past. I'm sure some people must have heard about the NBA stuff and some of this financial institutions telling you to do some investments, and then you're getting probably almost a 50 for like over 50 or 80% within a month and all of that stuff. So I've done some bad investments, and that taught me a hard lesson, and then I decided to stop. So a friend of mine introduced me to some of these real estate investment companies where the duration is quite understandable, 6 months, and you get probably a return of about between 10 to 18%. So here's my question. For some people like us that are in creative, you talked about saving and all. So this is sometimes this is how I do mine. I try as much as I can to save up and save up and save up a reasonable amount of money, and then I look for investments like that to invest my money. And then this is like the first time I'm having like a reasonable amount of money that I'm investing in a real estate company. So what happens after I'm done getting back my ROI? Is this something that I have to reinvest or save it? And because the truth is, I'm just used to saving money in my account, and so after the whole bad investment happened, and someone that I met assured me this is good, and I'm going to be getting like my return in like next month. So I'm still thinking, should I still do like put it back in, or should I? So at some point, I'm kind of confused, really.
I mean, for me, what I would suggest is, let me just give this general principle. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Steve Management, I believe you're listening. Yeah. So I think if you are sure of the source, right, and they've given you your return on investment, what I would suggest is you can put whatever return you get, you can plow it back, the returns there, and then you start building a somewhat diversified portfolio. One of the things we must learn in investments is that we must learn to diversify our portfolios. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. So you have to, the investment options require research, require you asking a lot of questions, seeking help from finance and investment professionals, right? So, and then it also speaks to your kind of risk appetite. So I would not say, oh, continue doing everything with one person because it has worked, right? I would say keep on, you can take the returns on this one, plow it back there, look for other sources of reliable, trustworthy investments, and then start spreading your risk. As a person, for example, I have investments in different things. Sometimes I've even seen the benefit of a diversified portfolio in that where one is not doing well, the proceeds of another one covers for the loss of that one. Another time, that one that wasn't doing well picks up, and the one that was doing well suffers some sort of a snag. At the end of the day, your aggregate wealth position is what you're looking at. So putting all your eggs in one basket is, if that one does badly, it's over for you. So I like to spread my tentacles. I have things. One other thing I always say is, I don't invest in what I don't know. I have to know it. I have to understand it. I have to understand it for myself. For example, there are so many investment options. I have a lot of friends who've done so many good investments that has worked for them and still working for them, but I'm not knowledgeable enough. And the reason why I'm saying this is that the investment I have tried that I am not knowledgeable about, I have always suffered losses there. I'm someone who gives deep thinking to a thing, right? So I've done some things because my friend said, do it, everybody's doing it. Every time I take such a decision, I lose. But when I have to think about it myself and rationalize it and put it within my own sort of investment framework or criteria that I use in evaluating things, I hardly lose in the long run. So you should be that, I think that approach works. I think it's something you should try.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. Steve, You need to give us a feedback if you got the response clearly, because we're not too sure you could hear. Okay. All right, so if you have any other question, please drop your questions in the chat room or raise your hand. Okay, Steve's hand has gone down, so I'm sure he heard you. Thank you so much, Mr. Troops. More questions, we still have time to ask our facilitator questions. You can raise your hand or you could just drop your questions in the chat room. Sorry, he is not allowed to make recommendations, but he has told us how to check. So we need to go do our research ourselves so that we can take wise decisions. Pastor Nee.
What about this question on CBN investment and blah, blah? Is this something that you can shed some light on? I can see that on the chat.
Yeah, okay, so for CBN, if it's a CBN regulated entity, right? If it's a CBN regulated entity, the CBN periodically checks on the organizations they supervise, right? So there is a level of assurance that they'll be doing the right thing. CBN checks on most institutions minimum of twice a year. So if it is regulated, if it's a licensed Central Bank of Nigeria institution, by all means, I would suggest that. This, however, doesn't mean that smart, intelligent people can put together initiatives that give returns. Don't misunderstand me. Again, life is about your risk appetite. What kind of risk appetite do you have, right? So I would say, as you're just getting into the investment space, start from an angle of safety, and central bank or SEC licensed entities guarantee you. So there are lots of asset management companies, there are lots of finance companies, banks regulated by government bodies, but there are still very many intelligent young people that I know that have put together some initiatives that are that are decent and helping people get returns. So my point is, ask questions. So it's your money here, so don't feel bad about it. You didn't say your question is stupid. Ask questions. Feel free to ask lots of questions. It's your money. You don't want stories that touch when you can't get your returns. And when you're not very certain in yourself, look for finance and investment professionals and say, hey, dude, I'm about to do this thing. You know, as a rule, I'm not happy when people lose money to bad investments, especially when the objective of those people promoting such an investment was to defraud. It's not good for genuine people who are trying to do stuff. So I really like to call them out. I really like to, make sure people don't patronize them. Look for professionals, seek their opinion. If you don't have a background in finance, investment banking, that kind of stuff, ask questions, guys. When I'm doing things I have no knowledge about, I ask. And even when you're giving me feedback, I go back and check, of what Bible says of the Berean Christians, that they were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that after they heard the word, they went back to go and check. Even though it was Paul that was preaching, legendary Paul that was preaching, it wasn't sufficient for them. They went back to check, and they were given the tag of more noble than the other guy. So be that noble person. Even when you've gotten tricks, impute or pasnis on, go back and ruminate on what you've been told. Search the internet, watch videos. It's your money that is at risk, not mine. So do everything to protect it. When we're talking about protection, it first starts from you making the right and the right choices. Money is hard to come by these days, so you shouldn't just lose it to bad or con artists who marks themselves under the toga of investment professionals.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I think, sorry, Vera, I think you nailed it. I think because it's not CBN regulated doesn't mean you can invest in. Just do your due diligence. Like you said, we have all more or less one way or the other gotten our fingers burnt in some investment. Sometimes losing an investment sometimes is also a good way to learn. So you must also, not that you plan to learn that way, but you have to comfort yourself in that fact that it's a good way to learn. And it says something about spreading it, spread the risk, so that this doing well can take care of that one not doing well, and that one doing well later cannot take care of this. And if you're blessed, which we are all blessed, all of them will just be doing well at the same time. But when all of them is doing well at the same time, you have to still keep those money aside. Don't just start doing prosperity or enjoyment and everything like that. Put it aside, because the ones that are doing well right now, the money you're getting is like a buffer for when probably if they are not going to do well. I have a situation like that, and there's so many people. Some of them are on this call also that I put some of my money in, and I'm getting my return. I'm getting my returns, and then what I'm getting from them is actually making the so-called, I won't call them bad, the so-called what's the word now? Slow ones. So let me say they are bad. They are not bad. Slow ones that are not yielding what they're supposed to yield. The ones that are yielding are kind of covering up for those ones while we press on to be able to get whatever we want. Some people call me sometimes, say, you know what? We saw you with this person. What will you say about this person? I said, look, I'm not going to recommend anybody. You do your due diligence. But if you ask me, I have so amount in there. And because I put so amount in there, doesn't mean you should put so amount in there. Do your due diligence. I've also taken a risk by putting my investment in there, but make sure you do your due diligence. And that's just it. And I know that anybody you see me stand up with, or you see me in the picture with, or anything, or I'm in the organization, I know their intent, I know their, what's it called? I know their intent, I know their motive, I know their heart. And then our prayers that things don't go wrong. But I can see most of them, they get, sometimes they can develop high blood pressure when things seems as if they may not meet that target of payback. That I know for sure. And then they are going through a lot of thinking, strategizing, and then they know that, just like Chuk said, they know that any bad news about their brand is like a sinker for them. So they are guiding against that and making sure nothing happens. But Chuk has settled it. We're not going to recommend anybody. You do your due diligence, and then, like they'll say, use your hand to promote yourself, or use your hand to otherwise. Good, thank you so much, Shoots. Very over to you. I think I see two hands now.
So we have two hands, yes. We have Michael. Michael, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Michael left.
Michael has gone out. Okay. Benga,
just give me.
Yourself. Benga, you have the floor.
Benga or Yefusi, is it the person I'm thinking about? Benga, okay. I was trying to.
Can you, okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, Benga.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Choose, I was in and out of your presentation because I had a meeting, but I had a question that, well, it might be out of your discussion, but it has to be about financial. You work with financial institutions.
Yeah.
We are talking about Central Bank and from M with the bank to financial institutions. From M with the bank, and the bank forbidding what is the cost to the bank.
Wenga, you have to take it all over again. You're breaking.
Yeah, you're breaking. Really can't hear you.
You're breaking. So try and take it all over again. Let us see whether it will be good. Your network is
okay.
Let's start. Okay.
That I from M bank link me with the bank and the Sterling Bank. If I have it from M, open with
You're still breaking. If you can type it, you're still
Yeah.
breaking. The network is not allowing us to hear you well. And I know Benga is my secondary school mate.
let me just see how to type. I'm actually on the way.
Okay,
We
that's
can hear
why.
you
That's
better
why.
now. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead now.
Okay. I said if I have it from M with the bank at maturity, the bank, do I have a false bank? Then I can
You're still breaking.
Yeah, it's not clear.
You're
at
still
all.
breaking because you are on motion. That's why we can hear you very well, Benga. Sorry.
back now. I said if I have it from M. Can you?
You're still
No.
breaking.
We're still breaking.
It's not clear at all.
Okay. Is it clear?
Benga, why not type it?
Yeah.
Or I can find a way of linking you. Benga or Yefusi, my schoolmate, secondary schoolmate, I can find a way of linking you, and then you and Truth can talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you're breaking.
I think that works. So we have Ogunlesi Oluwa Femi. You can unmute yourself now.
Oluwani Femi.
Oh, sorry. No, I need to. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, so Nifemi, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so while we wait for Oluwani Femi, a question in the chat room. Good evening, Pastor Nee and Mr. Chooks. Please, can I ask a question to get a clarification from the point of someone offering genuine investment opportunities? I need clarification if I'm permitted to ask. Okay, maybe.
Can I ask a question to get a clarification on the point of somebody offering? I don't know what you mean by that. Clarification, you want to ask us a question, you want to clarify the fact that you're offering genuine investment opportunity, so you want to market yourself. If it's for marketing yourself, then you need to DM me. I need to charge you for coming on my platform to market yourself. And then I need to have a disclaimer that, what's it called? Because you came to talk to us about your genuine investment opportunity, I'm not recommending it. You know what you do? Send me a DM. Let me clarify this very well. Send me a DM. A direct message, and let us see what you're talking about. If it's about you clarifying your marketing, what you have, I don't think we'll be able to put that on this platform. But if it's a question, then we can put it on this platform. Or Chooks, do you understand what they typed there?
No, yeah, I know he's seeking. I think he wants to ask a question, but he wants to get approval to ask the question. I recommend you to put it on the chat, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I think Benga has also put his question on the chat.
Yes. It says, can I sue a bank that refuses to submit my Form M for bidding with CBN at maturity?
Okay. To be honest, I'm a retail banker. I don't do. I'm not into in the Form M world. I don't think I'm competent to comment in that regard. I'm a retail banker. So around retail banking, I'm competent to speak on that. But on Form M and Forex like things, I don't have competence in that area. I'm sorry.
Or you are trying to dodge it because there is suing there.
No, not because there's suing. I always like to say if I'm knowledgeable in what I'm knowledgeable about, and when I don't know it, I hold up and say I don't know about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when don't worry, I'll get to somebody who can answer that question. A hand, we still have one.
Yes, I can see. Yeah, Nifemi, please, you can unmute yourself again. Thank you.
Good evening, ma. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hi, Nifemi.
Okay. First of all, try to tender an apology to Pastor Lee because I organized a conference today. Then I wasn't able to attend due to one of I was out of Lagos. So on my way coming back, I was starting with the person in charge. I stopped in the traffic. So straight to my question, sir, Mr. Chukuma. So my question is this: I'm running a small organization, but the people I've been working with, they refuse to pay VAT. So now
I refuse to pay what?
the VAT.
Okay, VAT. Okay, yeah.
So they normally tell me that okay, they'll prefer to go through my personal account and not that. So then I've been doing that for, let's say, for years now. So now the FIRS people now, and now I think they went to their company to go and audit. So they always see my invoice there. So now they are dragging me that come and that I need to answer questions.
Yeah. This heavy, they will drag you and you have to answer questions. So let me say this here. One of the things that we must, you see, part of the discipline of being an entrepreneur is that we must do things in the right way. Pay your taxes. Don't let people manage you into not doing the right thing. The government isn't as bad as we make them appear. Pay your taxes. If you're giving a customer an invoice, include that. Ensure they pay with your VAT and do your regular filing of these things. You know, we can't on one hand hound the government for not giving us infrastructure and services and the mechanisms to which they will fund those social amenities. We also at the other end boycott or stifle those structures. So I mean, bro, you're old on this one. What I think you should do is calculate what it is and go and remit. That's the best way out, man.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You will pay your VAT too. The only thing you can do is to go to FIRS and go and negotiate how you will pay it.
Correct.
If they will allow you
Stagger it.
spread it, and then, but you pay, you pay it. Whenever you don't charge your client VAT, you're telling your client that don't worry, I'll pay the VAT on your behalf.
Absolutely.
That's just what it is.
Absolutely. And bear in mind that there's interest and penalty. So the earlier you sort it out, the better.
So good. And if what you can now do is that if they're not paying you taxes, then probably you have to increase your charges a bit to even to buffer the VAT they won't pay you. But that would depend on your negotiation with them.
Yeah. So
that you don't bear the cost. You can share the costs amongst between the two of you, or you put it on them by increasing your charges. Because sometimes some people don't just like to see that VAT. That VAT they don't want to see it.
Yeah.
If it comes in from other means, they say, okay, I'll pay for this one, but this VAT, for them, VAT is like miscellaneous in budget.
Yeah.
The way I was trained. Whenever my boss sees miscellaneous, I say, no, you don't need this money. I say, in case, there will not be any.
Okay, let me quickly say this in addition to what I said for Nifemi, and I'm sorry, this has to be like the last question I have to join another call. Nifemi, yeah. Beyond this whole tax issue, you're also limiting your chance of growing your business. Right, because when it comes to preparing the financials for your business, you have limited information to work with because payments have gone into your personal account. Right, people must understand that businesses are separate from us as individuals, and we must maintain that discipline. There are significant upsides when you run a business well, you know. So it's a practice you have to be disciplined enough to stop. Right? If your business will grow in value, if your business will be able to the next level, practices that make them pay into your individual account, stifle the possibility for that growth. I mean, as we go forward, I'll just advise that you let business invoices be paid into business account, pay your taxes as well, charge your customers properly. And not just like Pastor Nee said, because practically there are people who don't want to see VAT. So if the money I have to charge you plus VAT is more than 7,050 kobo, I will charge it without VAT. But I know I will take that VAT out and I will remit without hurting my business. So I'm sorry I have to run now.
Thank you.
You have done well.
Thank you, sir. Anything for you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for your time.
So, Pastor Lee, do we take the next question or?
I'm not a financial person. What is the next question?
Something around money. Says, okay, my question is, if that's the person that was telling us I want to ask a question, what is the best way to make your prospects invest in genuine businesses or products when they seem to be dragging their investment decisions? The best way to kill fear of investing without coaxing them, knowing that your business is 100% genuine. Okay.
Well, it's rest on you to be able to convince me that your business is genuine. And it has to go beyond words. There are so many other things you have to show me track records of how you've been able to pay back investors. That's one. Two, you have to show me how viable the market you're going to, about the market you're operating in, that can get me my money back in 12 months, 24 months, or 48 months. So all those things, you must be able to prove all those things to me. So you won't just say, because you believe your business is 100% genuine, so you expect me to just now put my money there. No, I'm not going to put my money there until you're able to prove to me, I mean, data-wise, statistics-wise, that this and this and this and this and this and this are what we've done before. This and this and this are the things that we're planning to do. And then if you give us your money, this and this and these are the things that will return to you. Remember, the investors, especially if they are very experienced investors, if you are long-term investors, they are very experienced. They can smell something that will not work from afar. You may think you have all your numbers and everything, but they can read between numbers. Especially when you're dealing with people. I'm on the board of some companies, and sometimes when I became a member of the board, the way they scrutinize numbers, the way they look at numbers, you know that these guys are not just jokers. They know what they are doing with numbers. So you must be able to prove that. And then again, what's your track record like? How have you been able to return people's money? And that is why integrity is very, very important. And integrity, 1 year integrity is not enough for me. 2 years integrity is not enough for me. It has to be a track record of integrity, and they can just test you a little bit with some amounts, but most of the time, it's left to you to be able to prove it based on what you've done and based on how viable the market that you're putting the money in. And please, if you're finding it difficult to get people to invest, make sure you don't give them high interest rate most of the time. High interest rate, this and that, I'll give you 20% or 40%. It scares the genuine investors when they see very high interest in 50% in a year. Now you can say, okay, I can get it, but don't come out with that to them. Try and even lower the investment rate. Let them even be the one to now be negotiating that. Can't you make it higher? Can't you put 2%? Can't you put this and that? Instead of saying, I'll give you 50%, you just get them off immediately. So I think that will help with the fact that I'm not a financial person, but I look at investments too. There's some investment that I'm trying to work for now and trying to work on, that it was the interest that got me there, but we thank God we get our money back by grace of God. Actually, I invested the money on some. Now look at how it worked. Let me share the story with you. Somebody rang me and said, look, I've been listening to your, a friend, I've been listening to your this and that and that and this. I just hope it's not on this call. Okay, rang me so that, let me discuss so that even if it's on this call, we won't know. I have so amount of money, I want to invest it. Okay, I said, can I link you up with the guys who are going to invest and the young guys who are doing business, who are very, very passionate and everything. I linked the two of them together. I said, no, it's not going to give them the money. That's going to give me the money. It's going to give me the money, and I should invest it there. So since I was trying to help some people get their footing and everything, which I trust and I know they want to do well, I took the money based on his own. He was the one that picked the investment that he wanted, but he didn't invest it. He gave me the money to invest it. In other words, he gave me the money and I invested the money on his behalf. So when this guy was not forthcoming, I had to pay him his money, because I always tell people this: don't try to fight a billionaire. It will not be easy. If you're fighting a billionaire, you can fight a compagnonaire, a thousandaire, or a a millionaire. But when he's a billionaire, don't try to fight a billionaire. It can frustrate your life. So I quickly paid that, and then now I'm faced with the fact that, okay, let's get the money back from you. Now you can see that it was based on me being a bridge, trying to help this and help that and everything, and I got my fingers bumped. Going forward, even if you sing hallelujah 50,000 times, I will not be moved. I will have to look critically and then make sure that I remove myself as much as I can as a mediator of whatever investment that is going on, whatever loan that is going on. So you have to prove yourself, especially when you're dealing with me, that and my fingers are not burnt, because we're gonna get that money back. My fingers are not burnt, we're gonna get that money back. If that is the case, that's dicey if you're going to meet me. So it's now left for you to now prove yourself. Very, very well. Thank you. I think we've done so well. We've done 10 minutes more than we have planned. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Vera. Vera, James, thank you. You've always been a blessing. And then I'm always glad to be associated with you. And thank you, all of us, for being part of this, for taking your time. Next week, Saturday, we will be having Adetola Nola. Adetola Nola is a young entrepreneur that grew. I knew him when he was selling shoes all around, very close to my church then. And he's an entrepreneur that has become, built a multi-billion naira industry. He's about 31 or 32. So he's going to come and share us a story from how he was able to build that. And one thing I like about Adetola Nola is that he likes numbers. He likes numbers. He do some calculations for you and how this cannot work, this can work and everything. But nevertheless, he's coming here to tell us his stories. He's coming here to tell us the stories. And then it's going to be so inspiring and so motivating. That is like the cap for our financial series. And then after that, we can now tell you what else we have in stock for you as we move on. Although we'll take a break in March, because March is all about Dubai for the year. And then don't forget this, we're going on a journey with 50 people. I know some people have been direct messaging me, which is good. And then for those of us who are still very much interested, let us know. It's a journey. I don't know how long it will take. It can take 12 months, it can take 6 months, but we'll ensure that everybody who is on that platform, on that ticket, gets to improve their lives and be able to attract what they need to change their lives forever. And then if you're on this platform, I think that's where to be. Oh, 250,000, is it too big? I don't think so. And if it's too big, it's a time for you to stretch. Stretch yourself and get into that fold. I can promise you this, your life will never remain the same way. And then this is about the cheapest or the most affordable fee that I will ever put on any mentoring program, apart from the community, cheapest. And then giving you that time and that opportunity. Now I will even throw in some of my associates and some of my mentees into that mix to be able to do and bring out the best in you. I'm trying to develop the next level leadership. My pipeline, I just realized that is growing dry because I've not been able to replicate some guys that I replicated that I built up 5-6 years ago. I'm trying to replicate those guys right now, in their multitudes. So that what happened to me today, that I was looking for somebody to do this for me, do that for me, and they were all busy, genuinely busy. And then I need to now start looking for some other people to develop so that I don't get myself into this situation again. So DM all the hosts, including Vera, DM them and let them know that you're interested with your number and with your email, and then we'll get back to you. Remember, it's a first come, first serve situation. The first to get in there is the one that we'll talk to. You drop your number, we'll only call you once. We won't call you twice. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. I see my friend here, Camelicious. Thank you so much for being here all the way from the UK. I see Abioye. Okay. Thank you so much. Sheganolo, thank you. Ikeolua, fantastic. Thank you for joining. I'm trying to look for my friends here. Folake Ferreira. Oh, you joined us eventually. Thank you so much. Also, thank you. Austin, wow, good to have you here again. Rosaline, Madam Rosaline, it's been a while. Iola, you are here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who again. Thank you all for coming. Next week, we'll be here, and then we'll all have a wonderful time to get the good. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Demola Lala, it's good to see you here. Good. God bless all of you.
Pastor Nee, someone is asking, how can you get your books?
Call. Okay, guys, can you answer the person by sending the person a direct number the person can call, please?
Okay.
Before you go, I did one commercial. You guys need to watch it here. Kenny, play that commercial.
Are you a business owner, founder, or partner and wondering how to strategically make that shift in your business and take it to the next level? Then you've got to be part of the Niyi Adesanya Business Think Tank. The Niyi Adesanya Business Think Tank is a semi-formal league of business owners and founders dedicated to building centennial organizations with a global brand. We put into perspective the peculiarities and the dynamic of an ever-evolving business environment. Joining the Niyi Adesanya Business Think Tank, you will gain consistent insights from thought leaders, leading consultants, iconic industry captains, and business veterans. Get to infinite pool of resources to enable you to transform your life and business for good. In life as we brainstorm and gain insightful strategies for superior. Make this one promise. You will never walk alone. We'll be holding your hands through the good time and the other times too. I can't wait to receive you on 20th and 1st of March.
Thank you. If you want the video to help us spread around, please let us know. We'll send it to you. You spread it around for us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. Haggai Marcos, thank you for joining. Oh, Pame Osage. Osage or Pame, my Benin man. You have to call me. Osage, call me. Quickly. Thank you, all of us.